Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Codename New 202. Hi, I'm your presenter, Shabu RU. Issue number 5 of the Cobra's Venom has segued us into part 1 of artificial intelligence. And wow, the action is just amazing. We have about 3 plot points that we're going to dive right into, and it is amazing. The all-star team of Hama, Diaz, and Kumar are back at it. And these are the same guys that gave us the Dawn of the Arashikage and the Silent Option stories. I want you guys to focus in on the artwork and the story and how everything folds. And why I feel that, since I've been covering this and we've been on this journey for the past year of modern IDW, that these guys are the equivalent of Hama and Trimpy back in the Marvel days. I mean, no disrespect to all the other combinations, but I think these guys are the A-team. So make note of that. I also want to give a special thanks to VacDog for helping me with some of the characters that I needed in our new feature of pulling out some of the vintage characters that will be featured in the issue. I think that's a little fun element. So I hope you guys enjoy that. So without further ado, let's dive into part 1 of Artificial Intelligence, issue 261. After leaving the Cobra's Venom storyline, we segue into Artificial Intelligence Part 1. In Civil War country Shahzadar, dictator Aboud's forces, now think of Saddam and Hitler stereotype, is committing genocide against the Green Morning ethnic minority. Again, think of the Shias of being killed by the Taliban and ISIS, Saddam, Saudi Arabia's regime. Ripcord, Airborne, Heavy Duty have gone to extradite 3 UN workers at a Green Morning orphanage. The GIJOEs would not only take the 3 workers out, but also all the orphans, who would otherwise be slaughtered. They are cut off from communications. They were able to commandeer a bus and head towards the border of Benzine in hopes they can reestablish communication. Using the vintage toys that will appear in the issue, Covergirl and her team of Leatherneck, Dusty, Muskrat, and Repeater are entering Shazar City to try to rendezvous and help Ripcord and his team with the UN workers extraditing. They were able to shake off Dictator Aboud's forces, but now entered the Green Morning checkpoint, which is heavily guarded by the dictator's forces. So they're trying to sneak in to get into where Ripcord and his team are. Ripcord, Heavy Duty, and Airborne are not having really good luck. They have taken the bus filled with the kids and are being pursued by the dictator's forces. And these guys are aiming to kill everyone on the bus. So they're laying cover fire and protecting the kids at the same time and trying to shake them. Meanwhile, Destro and the Baroness have infiltrated a revenge hive and are they're pretty tangled up with Alpha 001 Prime, which is the leader of the revenge hive apparently. And he's just getting rid of Iron Grenadiers like there's no tomorrow. So they have their hands full. We'll also get cameos from Mainframe and Lifeline, who will be integral parts in the story. So like with every issue, we look at the cover variants. I liked cover A because my man Nito Diaz is drawing, and I love his artwork. But you can't go wrong with cover B and the RL cover. I mean, all 3 are freaking great. I love every single one of these, and I don't know, I might go back and pick up cover B. Covergirl's team arrive at the checkpoint in disguise.
Luckily, Dusty is proficient in Arabic, Farsi, and Pashtun. They get waved through, but are unable to locate Ripcord's team while driving around the city. Covergirl calls into Mainframe, who orders new drone pilot character, Joystick, to locate our three lost Joes. We discover their present danger as they are being chased by the dictator's forces. I want fellow fans to take note of Diaz's artwork and how it just brings to life Hama's story, illustrating action sequence to capture an overall feel. Back to the action, we see that Ripcord's team and the orphans are taking on heavy fire. Outgunned while being in a bus, it's just a matter of time. Meanwhile, the drone is witnessing everything. Mainframe and Joystick direct Covergirl to intercept and come to the orphan's rescue. Time is running out. We see Leatherneck, Dusty, and Muskrat just itching to get in there and help the kids out because they know what's at stake. You see all three Joes get hit by enemy fire. Even two of the UN workers receive wounds while trying to shield the children from bullets flying in and out of the bus. Despite their injuries, our Joes fight on, keeping the dictator's forces from delivering the killer blow. Mainframe tells Covergirl to punch it. You could really feel the urgency to get there to save the orphans and help Ripcord and his team. And I think, again, the artwork that Diaz does to illustrate the urgency and just the immediate danger is exceptional. Since returning to comics, I have not been shy about stating the overall lower quality compared to the 90s. I can overlook one element in what makes up a comic book, like in the Sierra Morte series. The problem is Marvel and DC are trying to please everyone and not focus on their target audience and fans. G.I. Joe comic book and even the Elvira series actually does this. And you see it down from the artwork to the writing. That's why I recommend G.I. Joe to people and why it is very good versus DC and Marvel right now. We see heavy-duty and airborne fighting valiantly. Both wounded, they are giving Aboud's forces one hell of a fight. All they have is small arms. But Aboud's forces are surrounding them and they're about to turn them into fish in a barrel. When Covergirl's All-Striker and Dusty's breaks through for the save, the cavalry has finally arrived. Back at Kansas, Destro and Baroness made quick work as they advanced through the Revenge facility. However, they've run into some serious problem when they're engaged with Alpha 001, the presumed leader of this particular hive. He has tentacles and, he's kind of like the spider-like figure. And you could see that Destro and Baroness are all tangled up. Iron Grenadiers are falling left and right. And look at this artwork by Diaz of the Baroness. I mean, that's capturing the intensity and the action all in just one panel. I think that's remarkable. Well, you see that they begin to work together. They're kind of like picking off of the dead Iron Grenadiers, and they kind of blast their way out, and they're just rushing towards the surface. They just want to get the hell out of there as fast as they could to reassess their situation. Meanwhile, finally together, Covergirl's team and Ripcord's team contact Mainframe to find a way to get the hell out of this hostile territory. So Mainframe lets them know that Wild Bill is overhead in the C-17. At the same time, they're still being pursued by Aboud's forces, so they're trying to this has to be perfectly timed because it's going to be like a fast drop, and then they just have to, while the plane is still moving, they're going to have to jump on the plane as quickly. So you see that Wild Bill's doing a hard dive onto the surface, and what he's going to do is going to flatten out, and first the kids in the bus are going to jump in. You know, it's got to be perfectly timed to do this. And it's kind of cool to see this done. And meanwhile, they're taking fire from the forces. Dusty's going to be next. And then, of course, Covergirl being the leader, she's going to be the last to jump on board. But there's a problem. They know that there's not enough time. So they're saying that, they have to jump off the All-Striker and ditch it in order to make it just in time for the plane to take off. So they do that, but at the same time, like, they're thinking to themselves, if this stuff falls, then the terrorists are going to get all their weapons. So they're kind of like, crap, like, this is like a no-win situation. We still lose because they're going to use this against the Green Morning people. But of course, Mainframe and Joystick have a solution. Remember, that drone is still up there. So it's funny because, the terrorists are celebrating. They're like, yeah, we got their weapons and this is going to be great. Stupid G.I. Joe, And then Joystick maneuvers and fires a hellfire because these guys all gathered around the All-Striker to, strip it of all of the weaponry that's on there. So it's like, oh, nice for you guys to, make a nice little easy target for us. So he, he kills them in one shot, and that's pretty damn cool. HCC 788 and I have been spearheading fellow fans to get into IDW G.I. Joe and write to Larry Hama. The benefit is seeing characters like Dusty, Leatherneck, and Ripcord. So if there's someone you like to see, write to them and write to the letters from the pit. On board, it's important to note how the soldiers, the G.I. Joe, acknowledge the UN workers, that they are the real heroes. They stuck with these kids who would have otherwise been slaughtered, and they shield them and protect them from the incoming bullets. They tell Lifeline to give them medical attention first, obviously. But it's just a nod of respect to these brave women that went into a war-torn combat area just to save these lives. And we have people today that do that. And I wanted to point out to fellow fans that these people should be acknowledged.